Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Overtime. I'm your host, Nick Messer, joined in studio by the conference champ, golf coach, Madeline Childress, and Region 10 Coach of the Week, Coach Steve Stern. Welcome. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Good to be here. Thanks.
Let's start with golf. We haven't had golf on here yet.
Nope, not yet.
I think you're the first golf coach from all the schools to be on here.
Oh, maybe.
So let's start with the highlights. Conference champs.
Yep. We did
Always
that.
a good way to end going into sectional.
Yep, that was last weekend. It was a really good match. We only played 9 holes, but they did really good. I'm really proud of them. Made it through the rain. That was a little rough always, but we team champ, and then Carmen Thackeray finished first overall, so I'm very proud of her with that. So.
And my understanding is Carmen did not start playing until a few years ago. Is that how the story goes?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. She picked it up. I think she'd played some with her family, and then last year she's like, hey, I want to come play golf. And I'm like, great, we love it. That's how a lot of our team has been, is they've only picked up golf within the last few years, and they've come leaps and bounds.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's highlight, we haven't heard, like I said, I'm pretty sure you're the first golf coach to come on here, so we're glad to have you.
Yeah.
Let's start with highlighting the year, maybe some key points or some key players or something like that. Let's start with that.
So one thing I was really excited about going into this season is that I actually have 8 golfers, which is a lot for a golf team, considering you only need 4 for a team score. So having 8 is really awesome. And they're all returning. So, again, they can keep building. It's been a bit of an up and down season, but we've had a lot of them have hit new PRs over the last couple weeks, and they're getting there. I'm really proud of all the work that they've been putting in. They put in a lot of work over the summer, too.
Go ahead and highlight. You only have 8. Let's highlight them. Who are they?
So we have Carmen Thackeray. She's been doing really good.
Senior.
Other seniors, we have Chase Christensen, Jalen Cran, and Addie Nugent. And then as far as juniors, we have Mary Steer, who's also been doing really well. She placed 2nd overall in conference. And then we have Ellie Grody. We have Macy Kinker. And we also have, who am I?
Grace.
Grace. Yes, thank you. Grace Nobby. We can't forget about Grace.
No, can't forget about Grace. And next week's sectional. No, sorry, this Saturday's
sectional.
Let's go ahead and highlight times, place, all that stuff so everybody knows.
So we're at Greensburg Country Club. They tee off at 9 o'clock, shotgun start, and we are starting on the back 9. I want to say we're starting on 11, I think maybe 14. I'd have to double check, but we're starting on the back 9.
Now, all 8 will not play, correct?
All 8 will not play. We only have 5. So how it works with golf is you have as many people on your team to take to most matches and things like sectional. You bring 5, and then your team score is made up of the 4 best scores of those 5.
So who are we up against? Who's our competition, or who's your competition?
So I know in our sectional, teams who have historically done well have been Batesville, East Central,
Columbus.
Columbus is no longer in our sectional for golf. That changed a few years ago, but they are also one that usually does very well. Also, Franklin County and Greensburg have also been doing really well this season. So.
And for people that don't know, there is no class for golf.
No.
So it's open.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter because only the top golfers get to.
Yep.
A little different.
Yep.
Kind of like track. It's a little different. I mean, it's a team sport, but at the same time, it's individual. So
3 teams will advance into regional next weekend, and then 3 individuals with the lowest scores that weren't on those teams will also advance. So we'll see.
How we looking in terms of?
So I think that a couple of them could advance as individuals. And I think, again, it's kind of been an up and down season.
Yeah.
But there's always a chance that we could make it as a team. I think there's the potential there, so we'll see.
Good.
We'll see.
Now, how many times have they played Greensburg on that course?
Let's see.
Not played Greensburg, but played at the country club. How many times have they
This season we haven't been able to get out there, but again, our sectional course, it always is there. So those that played last year have played there, and I think a few of them have gone out on their own as well. Again, working hard.
And you guys practice, I'm assuming, probably Thursday. Do you get tea time out there, or?
Unfortunately, we didn't get that in. We had 3 matches on our schedule this week. So tomorrow's senior night, though. So that'll be fun.
Let's highlight that.
Branch.
What time?
We are playing Edinburgh at North Branch. We're going to tee off about 4:30, and then after the match, we'll recognize our seniors.
Okay, good deal. We'll come back to you in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. We'll go with our football coach this year, or this show, sorry, Steve Stern, Region 10 Coach of the Week. Is that how I need to say that, Region 10?
Yeah, the Colts do a thing where they recognize the state is broken up into 10 regions, 5 in the north, 5 in the south, and the Colts, through their foundation, recognize a coach each week from each region. And then they will vote and pick a coach overall, and that person becomes the overall Colts Coach of the Week. So they do that throughout the year. Vice's helmet, Shutt helmet, puts in money toward the athletic department and to the coach. It's a neat deal. You get an opportunity to go to one of the final games once our regular season is over. So it's quite the honor. I appreciate it.
All right, let's go back to Milan game. We're going to go backwards a little bit. Hadn't had you on here. Time left in the game, under a minute. What's going through your head at that moment?
Well, I'd like to go back to maybe 4.5 minutes left in the game. Felt like we were driving. We had driven the ball probably about 30 yards, maybe a little more. But we got down into that to the red zone area. We were close. If we weren't in it, we were really close. And we mishandled the ball, we fumble. And they get the ball with 4.5 minutes left. And again, a lot of people want to look to the end of the game. Well, the end of the game wasn't really necessary had we not turned the ball over, and all indications were that we had some momentum and we're going to have a good opportunity to score. Well, they ensued a four-minute drive, took a lot of time off the clock. I didn't feel real threatened by a kicker at that point. I felt like we had to defend the end zone. They had just gotten a first down with just over 30 seconds left, and probably at the 15, 20-yard line. They took a shot. They threw the ball up to the big Norman kid as a jump ball. We lost. They scored. One of the things that we talk about all the time is every point matters. So now we're down 20-14, and they're getting ready to kick the PAT. We had just installed a new PAT block specifically for them, but we were going to have to find out real fast if it's going to work. First time they scored, we did it. It didn't look great, but fortunately for us, we defended the point. We prevented that point from happening. You didn't really know how big it was going to be, but you got to try it. You don't want to concede that point. So we got the block. We get lined up for a kickoff return, and you don't know. You expect it may be squib, could be a lot of things, and you end up talking yourself in a circle, and what you do is you break the kids' confidence. You just got to get them lined up, and wherever they kick it, whoever's got it, the challenge is pretty obvious. The objective is pretty clear. Fortunately for us, they kicked it to Corbin. Corbin gets a lot of credit for it. But there was a lot of other guys on the field that executed that very, very well, maintained their blocks, kept leverage on the defenders, on the coverage guys, and next thing you know, a little fella pops out, and is a great way to end the game. It was a great outcome.
If you watch that video, there are 2 key blocks before you see him kind of escape out of that.
Yeah.
That just the timing and to stay on the block and not let emotions get to you,
right.
Hold your assignment was pretty impressive. And then, of course, we know he come out of that right off those blocks.
Well, and there's a lot of people in the football world that talks about, there's 3 phases of the game, but there's very few people who practice it as true 3 phases. Special teams too often in high school is an afterthought, and I would say I would put our practice up against anybody in regards to the amount of time that we devote to special teams, the amount of video that we do, the scouting report on special teams only. has paid dividends throughout the year. Obviously, Corbin is an outstanding returner. So with that being said, to have all the other things in place too, the schemes, the players who are committed to it, the number of return yards he has this year is phenomenal. I don't know where that would fall on the state or anything, but his all-purpose yards are outstanding.
Were you surprised? I know looking back, I wasn't at the game, but obviously everybody's posted videos and things, so you get to watch it. And were you surprised? Because I was. Were you surprised that they didn't squib or they didn't do a high kick of some sort to get a little air under it or something? But kicking to him, I mean, is that? Well, I don't want to say it's bad. They didn't watch film, but like you just said, all-purpose yards and return yards, he's up there in the state.
I'll answer it this way. So we were in the very same situation with roughly 12 seconds left or 15 seconds left. We scored. We hit the PAT. Now we've got to kick off to them. What do? There was no doubt in my mind we're going to kick it deep. But I think the difference is our kicker 50% of the time is going to get in the end zone. Okay, and that's perfect. Can't return out of the end zone. And I think because of that motivated my decision to kick it deep. Now, I don't know. Their kicker hadn't kicked it very deep all night, so we kind of knew it was going to be a shorter kick. And I don't know if I'm surprised. You don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what they've practiced, and you don't know what the kid has done. Sometimes if you haven't – people take squib kicks, onside kicks too much for granted. We watched an onside against Eastern Hancock roll like 2.5 yards. And we're like, what do we do? So sometimes you just got to let your kids play. If it's time to run the ball, run the ball. If it's time for him to kick it deep, let him kick it deep, because that's what he's used to, and that's normal. Sometimes when you overcoach him, like in baseball, you can't steal first base, right? They have to earn first base. Just let the kids play. So I don't know that I was surprised. We've got to react to whatever they do. I'm glad they did, and the outcome was good for us.
Yeah, it's a big outcome, and I was actually at the Franklin County game, and it had people down there talking about it. So everybody pulling the video up and watching.
Yep. Like
you said, I mean, it's just, we said it on here time and time again. It's you got to forget things quickly, and you got to. Yes. And that's clear evidence that it's working for you.
Yeah, and the thing that I talked to our guys about after that game is, never out of the fight. I watched Brian Kelly rip the reporter after the LSU win, and now he's tried to backtrack it. But I get it. At the end of the day, we're trying to win games. Stats are great. I mean, to have a guy have a bunch of yards rushing or passing, all that's great. But at the end of the day, you got to learn how to win games. And our guys could have folded. They had opportunities to drop their head, and that's probably what my biggest takeaway was. This group didn't concede the loss. I mean, there's 30 seconds left. What are the odds? There's a chance, right? The old adage, if there's time still on the clock, there's a chance. And a lot of people say it, but our kids believed it. And I'm very, very proud of them for that. Obviously, it took a great effort by Corbin and those return guys, but we all benefited from it, and I'm proud of them for that. And I think that'll pay off down the road. We're going to get challenged again, some form or fashion, and they know they've responded to it. So the other thing is our opponents have to make a decision whether it's the first or the last kick of the game. What are you going to do with it? And I'm okay if they kick it to Simon Barber too. He'll do okay.
Yeah, he's pretty strong too. He's pretty strong too.
Yeah,
hard to bring down.
Yep.
Odell's a senior this year.
Mm-hmm.
You have one more Odell left.
I do.
Cam a kicker?
Well, ironically, 3.0 came in Saturday morning with us, and I got him on the kicking net for the first time. He's got a soccer background, and he's willing to do it. And I actually had a second grader approach me this week. Actually, second grader's mom approached me because I said something on the podcast last week is that, special teams matter. Kickers are important. And, when you don't kick in youth, I mean, how do they know and when do they learn? And she came to me and says, should we start kicking? I said, absolutely. You don't know.
Yeah.
And it's a skill like anything else. I mean, if you picked up basketball for the first time in 8th grade or freshman year, it's going to be really hard, right? Because all the other guys have the skills and the experience. I think 3.0 is going to be okay. He's going to have to get stronger, and he will. But we feel good about having him in the bullpen. But we'll keep Logan as long as we can.
All right, let's. I'm not going to touch too much on the Brown County, other than that was the first time in 34
Since 1990. Yeah.
1990, so
Yep.
35 years. Conference, going to be in the conference, so good win. I mean, there's always we can do takeaways, but I'm sure everybody out there wants to hear because everybody's aware. If you're not, Switzko is also 4-0.
Yeah.
And they pulled off a win that I did not see coming. I don't know if a lot of coaches, they beat Milan last week, which sets up, 2 4-0s, and that's kind of
Right.
what everybody's going to look at. Let's touch on that just a little bit here. How we getting ready for that? What's the team looking like?
Well, I think the first step is you look at Switzerland County, and I said it from the beginning. When they decided that we're going to start football, I said to somebody in the room when I found out they're a sleeping giant. They got all the natural resources. They got big, they got fast, they got strong, they got a little bit of mean in them. Somebody harnesses that, that's going to be a sleeping giant. And now what's happened? What is it? This would be their 11th year, I believe. They put some pieces together, but I remember Coach Jessup said to me last year's senior class was the first group they've had that went all the way through youth, through junior high, through high school. They had an opportunity to play every year. Well, this group obviously has too. This group has a lot of experience, a lot of time together. So early on when you started playing them, you could take advantage of kids' lack of football experience. It had nothing to do with their athletic ability. They just hadn't been in a lot of football situations, and that hurt them. Well, now these guys have. They've been around football. They've been playing. They like it. They've had success. So I'm going to say with confidence it's the best Swiss team that we've seen up to this point. They are physical. Their kids play hard, senior dominated. It is a run first, run second offense. They can throw it, but they'd much rather run it at you. Defensively, uber aggressive. They've got a couple safeties that people around may nod their head at the analogy, but there's some Reed Messer, Alex Stern, Logan Caney characteristics about these two safeties coming off the hash. A few years ago, Hagerstown had a couple. They had a pair of them. That affects you. I mean, you can block everybody up front. It's hard to block a safety in the run game. These guys come down, and I call them erasers. Ball gets through, they're going to make the play. They're going to hit you a ton, and we've got to handle that. I think it's got the makings of a great game. The one thing I told our kids is that this is a big game Friday. It's the biggest one we play this week, same as it was last week. Last week, Brown County was the biggest game we had last week. People giggle at it and go, well, that's silly. Well, it's true. It's one game a week, and you better focus on that and not worry about what's happened behind you or what's going to happen next. You better worry about this one. Now, I think there is an advantage to us. Maybe I'm wrong. I told our kids we've been in big games before. I would venture to say if you look at Switzerland County's history, this is arguably the biggest game they've ever been in. It is not the biggest game we've been in, but we're going to have to use our big game experience to get us ready for the game, weather the storm, because there's going to be an emotional storm at the start of this. I can just imagine their fans being really jacked up. And one of the unique things about down there is when you're the visiting team, you're on the home sideline. So their fans are like right behind you, and the home team goes over in the tree line. So that's different, and I expect that. And I told our kids, we've got to weather the storm. They'll be very emotional. We just have to do what we do and trust that our preparation and trust our experience will pay off for us.
And a team like that, like you said, that's probably the best – it is the best position they've been in a long time.
Yeah.
They have nothing to lose.
No.
They have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and that's what makes them
Very
probably
dangerous.
Yes, very dangerous in that situation. All right, we'll be right back with the North Decatur varsity girls golf coach, Madeline Childress, and the varsity football coach, Steve Stern. This is Overtime. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Overtime. I'm your host, Nick Messer, in studio here with varsity football coach Steve Stern, varsity girls golf coach Madeline Childress. Madeline, let's go back to you for a little bit. Give Coach a break. Sectional this week.
Yep.
So we're getting ready for that.
Yep.
Let's talk about youth. How's the youth program? You have 8 this year. How did you get to 8 players?
A lot of times with girls golf, they get their friends to play. So a couple of them just kind of said, "Hey, I want to try golf. Will you do this with me?" So I know that's how like Ellie got started. I know that's what got Grace into it as well, because Carmen said, "Hey, let's try golf," or it may have been the other way. They kind of just came together. But golf, kind of like you were saying with football, it's one of those you do better if you have more time and experience with it. But a lot of times with golf, it's one that a lot of them just kind of pick up and will start, and they'll just fall in love with it because it really is a sport that you can play forever. In theory, at least, you can play a lot longer than some of these other sports.
Some days better than others.
Yeah. Some days better than others, especially.
So do you have junior high as well?
Yeah, I also coach junior high in the spring. So I know our boys program has had a ton of interest. I know Lucas had a ton of interest at his kind of initial meeting a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "This is awesome, but it's so many." I'm hoping over the next few years to start getting more young girls interested in golf. We've been trying, but every year there's like, "Oh, I kind of want to play." Oh, no. So, but really it is a lot of times just like 1 or 2 of them that can bring their friends in, and they fall in love with it.
Are you going to try to do a golf clinic or anything, some sort of camp or something in the future, possibly to try to land some?
It'd be fun to do something like that, and just kind of looking into, I know like some courses will do like youth golf and things like that in the summers as well, reaching out to them, being like, "Hey, do you have anybody that would be interested, or do you want help with this?" So I'd love to do something like that in the future. Because I'd love to keep building at least the girls golf program as well, so that we can keep having involvement. Because there was a couple years ago, we didn't have a team at all because we just didn't have the numbers. So, yeah.
Okay. And again, senior night is?
Tomorrow night.
Okay.
Out at North Branch. We tee off at 4:30.